their perception become their reality. So people's perception was that the Kalindi pond, bad. The Kalindi was blamed. Our scriptures tell us, grudgingly protect your good name. I don't know if you want to grudgingly protect your bad name too. But good name you must grudgingly protect. As Shakespeare said, he who steals from me my purse steals trash. But he who steals from me my good name steals everything. Good name is important. Money you could always get back, you know. Good name you can't get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. No matter what you do. Maybe if you have to migrate, in this world of technology, you go to the remotest part of the world, somebody and some iPad in you. You can't get away. So devotees, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he himself doesn't want that pond to be blamed. So he decided to purify that pond for two reasons. One, to save lives, and two, to remove that stigma attached to that pond. So Bhagavan always has a methodology, devotees. Nothing is impossible for him. These young boys in the village of Braj were cautioned, do not go to the Kalindi pond, do not go. But boys will be boys. One day Bhagavan Sri Krishna, with this intent of purifying that pond, he went with his friends and they were playing with a ball. The ball belonged to Bhagavan Krishna's friend. His name was Damaji. Damaji. So Damaji had his ball and they were playing with the ball, and unconsciously, you know, for the others, but consciously by Bhagavan Krishna, he took them in the direction of the Kalindi pond. And they were told, don't go there, but nobody was aware. So caught up in playing. And when they reached close to that pond playing, Bhagavan Sri Krishna purposely threw the ball into the pond. Damaji was very angry. Oh Krishna, you have thrown my ball into the pond. Get my ball for me. Now devotees, many in today's world wouldn't understand what it is to lose a ball. But we grew up long time. When you get a ball and a bat, in the village you're the king, you know. So you had a bat first, and you had a ball first. If they get vexed, you take a bat and ball and go home. Yeah, you're the king. And to lose it, I can remember myself crying having lost a ball. Because you can't give back another one. We were so poor. Now, a lot of affluence now. So people have no value. They don't value things. And one day everything will come to naught. We keep saying that. Values must be held on to values. So devotees, Damaji, I could understand how you would cry for a ball. And jostling Krishna, oh Krishna, get my ball. The friends were saying, oh Damaji, you're mad. You expect Krishna to go into that pond? Kalia Naag is in there, that black serpent. But devotees, Krishna Bhagavan decided he is going to go. All this was an excuse. So they said, he loosed his dhoti, long time they wear dhoti, no? Tied it tightly around his waist to give him a strength. On the bank of this pond there was a kadam tree. And he climbed upon this tree, and from there, that height, he jumped into the pond. And devotees, that impacted Bhagavan Sri Krishna on the surface of the water. That sound went right down to the bottom of the pond. Sound travels through medium, right? Devotees, snakes sleeping, Kalia Naag. Most times they sleeping, no? Except when they're hungry. Yeah. Human beings to some. So devotees, that sound came to the bottom of that river, and Kalia Naag, he woke up. Now, as the saying goes, whenever you have a Naag, you must have a Nagini. Right? Nagini is feminine. When you have Naga Nagini, you must have Naglet. Small snake. So the whole family of snakes residing in that pond. When this sound reached to the perception of the snake, it said in his own way, he turned to his Dulahin, Nagini, said, hey Nagini, girl, like somebody come in the house. Go on, Sita. Devotees, Nagini said, what happened? You're mad? We live in the house, something come in the house, you're telling me to see? That's like, I keep saying devotees, people sleeping and you have somebody breaking the door. Husband, tight. You say, go, girl, go see what happened there. You want a girl go see? People, that's stupid. That is Nag sense, snake sense. Devotees, Nagini said, you go, you are the man in the house, supposed to be. Go. And devotees, Nag had to get up and go, fat, lazy man. And from the bottom of that pond, devotees, he glided up and he burst to the surface of the water. And there he saw Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Initial response, anger. No, I shouldn't say that. Initial response, he was charmed. Initial impact on his mind. But all he poisoned his body. You know, people, nature, you know what is right, you know what is good, but the poisonous nature you have, you can't accept it and do it. You continue with the stupidity. It's sad, eh? Again, snake behavior. The devotees were powered by the poison. He decided to attack Bhagwan Krishna. And he attacked Bhagwan Krishna, and he coiled himself around Bhagwan Sri Krishna. And he tightened his coils. And Bhagwan Sri Krishna playing a game. Bhagwan Krishna became perfectly still. Perfectly still. As if he was dead. Caught up in the coils of the serpent. The friends on the bank of the river saw that. They fell down unconscious. The cows began to cry, tears in their eyes, lowing in pitiful tones. They're sitting there just gazing. It was as if life had come to an end. No Krishna. One of the friends had this presence of mind to rush back home to the village to tell them what had happened. But in the village they were getting bad signs. Earth was quaking, stars pitching. The right side of women was palpitating. Bad sign for women, generally speaking. Left side palpitating in men, bad side for men. Men, right side good, women, left side good. So the opposite was happening. All these were signs, devotees. And nothing happens without us getting to know, you know. But you know, we have to be perceptive enough. We always get signs. Now, Nanda Baba, Mata Yashoda, others were very despondent. Krishna has gone today alone, without Balaram, his elder brother. Something has happened. When they got the news, Krishna is in Kalindi. Devotees, right away, those rustic people, they pick up their weapons. And the weapons will be, you know what, little stick, little cutlass, little thing to dig, hoe, what we call it. These, for farming, they pick up whatever weapons, the plow and so on. And they rush to that spot to see what was happening. And when they reached their devotees, they saw, the sight confronted them. Bhagwan Sri Krishna, caught in the coils of the serpent, apparently dead. Apparently dead. Devotees, the mother, as any mother would do. Mother gave us life. This mother, she wanted to jump to fight that snake. She didn't stop to think about herself. I want to save my son. But devotees, they held her back. They held her back. All the gopis, they all came there. The friends, everybody. And devotees, you know what it is to see someone near and dear, and that one as if he's no more. He's no more. Life, everything will become dark and dreary. Dark and dreary. Devotees, the cowherdesses, they were reflecting upon Kanhaiya. The friends upon Kanhaiya. The mother, devotees, my beautiful Kanhaiya. One without a second. Grieving devotees, visualizing the son in this form. Bansi dhara Kanhaiya, Ghanashama Sundara, Giridhari Gopabala, Vrindavana Vihara, Bansi dhara Kanhaiya, Ghanashama Sundara, Bansi dhara Kanhaiya, Ghanashama Sundara, Giridhari Gopabala, Vrindavana Vihara, Giridhari Gopabala, Vrindavana Vihara, Bansidhara Kanhaiya,
मधुसूदना मुकुंदा
मधुसूदना मुकुंदा
मधुसूदना मुकुंदा
मधुसूदना मुकुंदा
मधुसूदना मुकुंदा
राधे गोपाल राधे गोपाल राधे गोपाल राधे
राधे गोपाल राधे गोपाल राधे गोपाल
राधे गोपाल राधे गोपाल राधे गोपाल राधे
राधे गोपाल राधे गोपाल राधे गोपाल राधे
बंशीधर कन्हैया घनश्याम सुंदर बंशीधर कन्हैया Devotees, mother's grief cannot be expressed by any one of us. Only a mother could understand how that grief would be like, how it would feel. But even so, I don't think one can express it. The mother devotee is deeply grieved. The gopis, those were the ones who Kanhaiya would dance with, he would create mischief with them, steal their saris, burst their water pots, play barsuri, dance with them. So many things Kanhaiya did with them. Now they realized all of a sudden, no more Kanhaiya, no more Kanhaiya. Life is really dread, dreary, empty, empty. Everywhere appeared to be empty without Kanhaiya. Devotees, the gopis, with their own distress. Jhuma jhuma mana mohan re, murali madhur sunaja. तेरे दर्श की प्यासी नैना तेरे दर्श की प्यासी नैना एक पल दर्श देखा जारी झूम झूम मन मोहन रे मुरली मधुर सुना जा तेरे दर्श की प्यासी नैना तेरे दर्श की प्यासी नैना एक पल दर्श देखा रे झूम झूम मन मोहन रे मुरली मधुर सुना जा गोकुल सुना मधुर सुना सुने ब्रज की धूनी भूल गए तू हमको हम न तुझको भूली फिर अपन घट से जमुना के तट से फिर अपन घट से जमुना के तट से आके रसर छजरी जय घनश्याम राधे श्याम जय घनश्याम राधे श्याम जय घनश्याम राधे श्याम जय घनश्याम राधे श्याम जैसे दूल्हा को जग में तुझको कौन है दाता दूर के सारी नाता हमने जोड़ा तुझ संग नाता भंवर में नैया परी की भैया, भंवर में नैया परी की भैया, अब तो पार गजरी। जय घनश्याम राधे श्याम, जय घनश्याम राधे श्याम, जय घनश्याम राधे श्याम, जय घनश्याम राधे श्याम। झूम झूम मन मोहन रे, मुरली मधुर सुना जा, ए मुरली मधुर सुना जा, ए मुरली मधुर सुना जा। Devotees, they express their grief. All persons, they express their grief in various forms. How could they live without Kanhaiya? And the snake is there, coiled up around Kanhaiya. Kanhaiya is motionless. For all intents and purposes, as far as others were concerned, he appeared to be dead. Devotees, could God die? When God manifests himself, it's not to be killed, it's to kill demonic forces. But what he was doing, he was testing his devotees. And we always tested in life, devotees. And I have asked a question from ever since. God, if you know everything, you know my strengths, you know my weaknesses, then why you testing me? Ain't you not going to fail? Why you testing me? Then I have been searching for an answer, devotees. Why? We go to school. The teacher knows my capacity. Borderline, on the average, whatever it may be. When you give me a test, you know from up front what is going to happen to me. Why are you testing me for? Life without tests, very nice. So devotees have asked these questions. I've been asking this question over and over. And just maybe about a year ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, an answer came to my mind. From my mind. And you know what the answer is? Look, God knows what your strengths and weaknesses are. Do you know? Do you know? The teacher knows my capacity. Do I know it? In other words, devotees, what I am saying, I am tested, so I come to the realization as to where I am at. I, the individual, what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are. So I can have a reality check on myself. This is why we get tests. God knows. It's we who don't know. And therefore we are tested so we can analyze ourselves, assess ourselves, and where possible, do better. Devotees, these people were being tested. How much dependence they had on Bhagwan. And here you would see, by their reaction, in mind, word and deed, they were dependent upon Krishna. They realized, oh Krishna, we can't live without you. You see, many times we take people for granted. We take things for granted. So only when we are tested, challenged, then we realize, in the absence of such a person, hey, I really can't do without that person, And unfortunately, most of us in life, devotees, we behave like that, take everybody for granted. And when the person dies all of a sudden and goes, oh, I didn't know you would die. So quick, just wait, leave you and you go on. He must tell you, I will go. You prepare yourself, come hug me up and then tell me I'm going. Devotees, this is why I keep saying life is too short for stupidity. Hate, anger, animosity, strained relationships, all these negativities. All people want to do, eat, drink, make merry when you're dead, bury. Forget about the principles, the values. And then when you see the crunch time comes, then you collapse. And we don't even realize it. Sometimes you realize it, when? When Chitragupta confronts you. I mentioned about a fellow called Chitragupta. You see, he writes on everything that you do. Chitragupta is the recording ability of your mind. Everything you do, everything you experience, everything you feel is documented by your mind. And when the final moments come, it is your mind that confronts you. This great recorder that exists inside. He confronts you and said, you did this, you did that. You failed here, you were good there. Everything, you can't see no. Because you see it before your eyes. Nobody gets away. Nobody gets away now. No matter how smart you think you are. When the final moments come, everybody is confronted by Chitragupta, the secret picture of your life. And you have to analyze even now what kind of secret picture you have in your life. Is it one that the world can see? Or one you prefer not to talk about? You want to hide it away because it will embarrass you. What is it? What is it? But don't forget, it's you created. Nobody else. You created. And therefore you have to face up to the consequences. Jaisa karni, vaisa bharni. Devotees, this is why I keep saying life too short. Fall is foolishness. Hate, anger, animosity, acrimonious behavior, I can't understand why. Somebody don't like you, you have to don't like them too. You like everybody. Who don't like me, that's your problem, not mine. You carry baggage, not me. But devotee is a human being, the highest form of creation. I don't know what goes wrong with us at times, most times. And then we shut about with air of superiority. We then believe we're very religious, great people. But when they're going to check, it's like a house very well painted, but termite ridden. Termite ridden. And one day to come, it's going to collapse. It's going to collapse. And all that facade that was created, you will see for yourself, you'll be exposed. That's not nice, devotees. So, always good to have a pure heart. Life too short for confusion. Strained relationships, negativities, all the greed, anger, the hate, the lust, etc. Devotees, I'm saying all this because it is the context of the Katha. Bhagavan Krishna tested his devotees, and then they really realized that how can I live without my Lord? And then Bhagavan decided it's time now to impact upon their mind something otherwise and teach this Kalia Naag a lesson. Bhagavan began to grow inside, so it felt to the snake that its coils were being stretched to its limits. And Bhagavan began to grow as itself, but he's feeling the coil stretching, and he had to let go. He had to let go. Otherwise he would have been burst to pieces. And devotees, snake and Bhagavan Krishna, both of them began swimming around, each one wanting to attack the other one, to gain the ascendancy. But who could gain the ascendancy on the Lord? At the most opportune moment, Bhagavan jumped upon his head, devotees, and he began to dance on the head of Kalia Naag, blowing the bansuri. Gopal, Gopal, Nacho Gopal. Gopal is dancing. And devotees, this snake had 101 heads, we are told. Bhagavan danced all the heads into submission. Anytime a head was danced down on the ground, another one raised up. Now one may ask, he in the water, how he danced into the ground? The commentator said there was a sandbank, and it was on the sandbank that Bhagavan Krishna was dancing on the head of Kalia Naag. On the sandbank. And devotees, at the end of it all, Kalia Naag was defeated. Bhagavan didn't kill him. Blood flowing from his mouth. And there he was, lying there, flattened. What to do? Devotees. Now many men find themselves in trouble. And then the wife had to come and beg for him. Isn't that so? It happened in society up to today. Yeah? The Nagin now, she came. When she saw Bhagavan damaging the pride of Kalia Naag. What the Nagin did, she put the naglets in front, all the children. Huh? And she came to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And now people are going to laugh at me when I say she's going to pray. She joined both hands together and pray. Now devotees, the Nagas happen to be a race that can assume human form at will. And they can transform back into snake. Alright? I'm sure people have seen the picture Nagin. How this target will change into the snake and then change back and dancing and thing. Yeah? When they see them think, what? When everybody Baba saying, more stupidness. Yeah? Devotees is a Nag, the Naga race. And time and again they assume human form. And they walk amongst us. And who knows, sitting next to you could be a Naga. Or walking by your feet could be a Naga. Don't watch down now. If you see it, you're going to get frightened and run away. Devotees, so when she came to Bhagavan Krishna, she came to beg for the life of her husband. She joined hands together, she prayed, "Oh Lord, please forgive my husband. The children will be fatherless." In various ways she prayed. And then Bhagavan said, all right, I'm going to release him, I'm going to free him on one condition. You leave this pond and go away from here. Then Kalia Naag now, he assumed his human form. He said, Prabhu, I came into this pond in the first place because Garud, That is your vehicle, O Lord. Lord Vishnu rides on the vehicle, on the Garud. And the Garud eats snakes. So he said, your vehicle was eating all snakes. And I came into this pond to hide. But Lord, I am scared to come out, Garud will eat me. And Bhagwan Krishna said, no, I dance upon your head, O Kalia. My footprints are upon your head. And once Garud sees my footprints on your head, he will not do anything to you. You are protected. You have sought my protective shelter. Now you have it. You together with your family, go to some faraway island and live there in peace and harmony. And don't trouble anyone anymore. Don't. And so devotees, the snake family, bow down to Bhagavan Sri Krishna devotees. They praise him before returning or going to that island very, very far away to live a life of peace and comfort. They praise Bhagavan Sri Krishna. He bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala, Sriman Narayana, Ranga Ranga Vithala. Bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala, Bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala, Bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala, Bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala. Lakshmi Narayana, Ranga Ranga Vithala, Lakshmi Narayana, Ranga Ranga Vithala, Sriman Narayana, Ranga Ranga Vithala, Sriman Narayana, Ranga Ranga Vithala. He bolu, oh bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala, bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala, bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala, bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala. Govinda Vithala, Rakhamai Vithala, Govinda Vithala, Rakhamai Vithala. He Govinda Vithala, Rakhamai Vithala, Govinda Vithala, Rakhamai Vithala. Gopala Vithala, Panduranga Vithala, Gopala Vithala, Panduranga Vithala. Gopala Vithala, Panduranga Vithala, Gopala Vithala, Panduranga Vithala. Shri Ranga Vithala, Panduranga Vithala, Shri Ranga Vithala, Panduranga Vithala. Hey Shri Ranga Vithala, Panduranga Vithala, Shri Ranga Vithala, Panduranga Vithala. Hey bolu, oh bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala, bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala, bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala, bolu Narayana, Jai Hari Vithala. Jai Hari Bol Jai Sitara, Gopi Gopal Bhaju Radhesha. Jai Hari Bol Jai Sitara, Gopi Gopal Bhaju Radhesha. Hey Jai Hari Bol Jai Sitara, Gopi Gopal Bhaju Radhesha. Jai Hari Bol Jai Sitara, Gopi Gopal Bhaju Radhesha. Guru Ram Ram Lakhan Sham Sham Sham, Guru Ram Ram Lakhan Sham Sham Sham, Guru Ram Ram Lakhan Sham Sham Sham, Guru Ram Ram Lakhan Sham Sham. Jai Raghunandan Jai Siya Ram, Janaki Vallabh Sitaram. Jai Raghunandan Jai Siya Ram, Janaki Vallabh Sitaram. Jai Yadunandan Jai Ghanshyam, Rukmini Vallabh Radheshyam. Jai Yadunandan Jai Ghanshyam, Rukmini Vallabh Radheshyam. He Nand Kishora Maulit Chura, Vrindavan Govind Lala. Nand Kishora Maulit Chura, Vrindavan Govind Lala. He Nand Kishora Maulit Chura, Vrindavan Govind Lala. Nand Kishora Maulit Chura, Vrindavan Govind Lala. Ram 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 Sham Sham Sham, Guru Ram 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 Sham Sham Sham, Guru Ram 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 Sham Sham Sham. Jai Hari Bol Jai Sitara, Gopi Gopal Bhaju
जय हरि बोल जय सीताराम गोपी गोपाल भज राम 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 जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम जानकी वल्लभ सीताराम जय यदुनंदन जय घनश्याम रुक्मिणी वल्लभ राधेश्याम नंद किशोर शोभित चूर वृंदावन गोविंद नंद किशोर शोभित चूर वृंदावन गोविंद बोलो बोलो राम 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 घन श्याम 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 राम 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 घन श्याम 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 बोलो राम 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 घन श्याम 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 बोलो राम 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 घन श्याम।
And so devotees praising Bhagavan Sri Krishna, they returned to their respective, to that faraway island, and they said that pond became pure. Bhagavan came out and he was embraced by all. And what loving embrace and devotees. You know, when such situations arise, you tend to become a bit closer. The bonding becomes stronger. That bond becomes stronger. If you could become stronger at all with Bhagavan Krishna and his devotees. But devotees, peace and happiness prevail. Bhagavan Krishna fulfilled what he wanted to do, to purify that pond and drive that snake away, by driving the snake away. But devotees, you know, people want to question how God will leave heaven and come down to fight a snake. I mean, that our God could do. No ordinary people fight snake. But devotees have to understand what this means. So I'll put it to you in a metaphysical sense simply. That pond is the pond of the mind. Our minds. Kalindi, Yamuna is a stream of activity, action. Ganga is a stream of devotion. So Yamuna, that is a stream of disinterested action. Within that pond, within that river is a pond, Kalindi, the mind. So the mind is at the center of all our actions, all our activities. But devotees, what exists in the pond? The black serpent. What is that black serpent? It is the serpent of the ego. Ego. I. Which is a poisonous serpent. It has many heads. When there is ego, then there is hate, anger, lust, greed, jealousy. The host, you see too much individuality. Individualism, sorry. Too much individualism. That ego is strong and all the negativities. And then all you could do on such a condition, you're very self-centered. You care only for yourself. You don't care about anybody else. You don't care who die, and many die. You poison others because of your attitude, because of the poison state of the mind, the pond of the mind. And Bhagavan doesn't like that. Devotees, how many of us will do something and do boast, I did that. You looking for credit? It is said, we all instruments, the Lord is the actor. Not a blade of grass could move without energy, Shakti. What can we do? But we are carried away with false pride, sense of ego. That is the black serpent. And devotees, Garud is the vehicle of Lord Vishnu. What is Garud? Garud represents karma. But what kind of karma? You see, Garud has two wings and a tail. Karmas can be performed with two different types of attitudes. One with rag and dvesh, attachment and aversion. I like something, I do it because I expect results. I hate something, I'm going to do it because I just want to do it and I expect a different kind of result. Most of us, if not all of us, we act with rag and dvesh. Rag and dvesh. And therefore, this is why we are bound to the reactions. We suffer the consequences. Garud devotees, the two wings represent Vivek and Vairagya. Vivek, discriminative power. Vairagya, this passion. And propelled by the tail of bhakti. Anytime any action is performed with this attitude of Vivek, Vairagya and bhakti, that action devours the ego. It overpowers the ego. And devotees, very few act with such an attitude. So therefore you have to hide. This is why many people don't like to hear scriptures. Sometimes even what I am saying here now could be causing pain to some people. I know that. And I keep saying I because I don't know any I. Yeah. So devotees, what we are saying is that, actions have to be performed with a different attitude, not the sense of ego. And we are told by scriptures, any action done without that sense of ego is not binding. Rag, dvesh, bind. Those actions bind us. And if I have Vivek Vairag and propelled by the tail of bhakti, that is Lord Vishnu's vehicle, Garud, that devours the ego, so to speak, I am free. Now what we need to do, devotees, Bhagavan didn't kill Kalia Naag. If you kill the ego, you do exist. You must have the ego. But it's what the ego identifies with. The ego should identify with the cosmic ego, who is Krishna himself. You see Bhagavan Shankar with that snake about his neck? This is what it symbolizes, Bhagavan Shankar is the cosmic ego. That snake is the individual ego that identifies, becomes an adornment, Naga Bhushan, an adornment on the body of the Lord. This is what we need to be. To transform this ego and identify with the cosmic ego. Purify the screen of the mind, the pond of the mind. Purify the pond of the mind. Bring that ego under control, identifying totally with divinity. And devotee's life becomes a divine song. So this is not about Bhagavan Krishna dancing on snake head, no? It has serious connotations for every one of us. Because every single action we perform in life, devotees, we are caught up. The mind is caught up. Ego and attitude.